So before I get started, I want to show you the materials that I have. I have a bunch of really nice gouaches here. So there's some Utrecht gouaches, some, what is this one? This is Holbein gouaches, and some Winsor Newton. These are all good names, and you should use a better quality gouache when you're really getting serious. In the beginning, if you only can really afford the less expensive leaves or the kind of gouaches that you get from Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something, use them, but see if you can find some better gouaches and work with them. They should be fresh paint if possible. And also the next thing you also want to make sure you have is your Bristol board, right? Obviously your Bristol. You want to have a variety of brushes. I like to have some round tips, some flat tips, some longer, skinnier ones with little points. It's nice to have a variety so that you can actually use them in different ways for different surfaces. So once we get to the final project, you have a good variety. For this particular project, basically, you'll be needing maybe like these two, maybe these three, that kind of thing. Okay. The other thing you want to think about is having some kind of palette knife so that you can mix your paints, but you can also mix with a brush if possible, if you need to. The other thing you need to have is water. Now, I like to have two things of water at all times. I like to have a supply of water, and I like to have a place that I dump my dirty water because I like to sit down and paint. Water gets pretty dirty in here, and as it gets dirty, you don't get up and you don't wash it, but your paints suffer. But if you have a place to just rotate your paint, you can put your podcast on, you can sit and enjoy your books on tape, whatever, while you're going through these very, let's say, it's a lot of time to get this right. So give yourself that time, get comfortable, get yourself set up. Paper towels, very important. Step blends, just explore your paints first. So set up a piece of Bristol where you just have the width of your ruler, which is a really good way just to set up some places to create some studies, just so that you can get comfortable with how your paint actually paints on your paper. You want to have that nice shiny vellum. That's a really good thing. And then you can explore whatever paints you have to see what they actually do and get comfortable with how your brushes behave. This is all good. Use an H pencil always, and the reason for that is two reasons. One, you want your mark to be really light. You hardly want to see your mark. You don't want it to interfere with the way that you read your color. The other thing to be super aware of is that all paint has a co-primary element. All paint moves in one direction or another. Only light is pure pigment. Only light is pure red, pure blue, or pure yellow. Not pigment. Pigment is never pure anything. There's always some sort of pollution element to a paint that you will use. So whenever you choose a yellow, it will have a little bit of something else in it. It might have a little black. It might have a little of your complement. It might have a little purple. It might have a little blue. It might have a little red. So always choose a co-primaries to work with, or a variety of reds, yellows, and blues. What I've done is I've lined each one of these paints up with the paint here, so I remember which one is which. So I'm going to take this this yellow here, which is the Winsor Newton primary yellow. I'm going to write that right here. Winsor Newton primary yellow. And then I know what it looks like. And I remember it's there. Okay, so I'm going to fill this whole square up with primary yellow. Your square doesn't have to be as big as mine, that's okay. But I'm going to make my brush just a little bit wet. Make sure it's clean. That's just stain from paint. So, and then I don't want it to be very watery. I want it to be like sour cream. You want it to be opaque. You don't want too much water. I can feel I've already put too much water in. So I'm going to put more paint in. Don't be afraid to use paint. I know it's expensive, but if you have gouache, you can actually re-wet, so you can use it again and again. So you can keep a palette, a large palette of your colors together. So you can see that you want to cover all the white of the paper. If I'm using one of these flat brushes, I could get to the edge of my mark pretty nicely. And you can make a nice smooth result.